Going to be the starter. Russ shows so much promise. He beats him out. The rest is history. Seattle goes on this historic run. Should have been 2 Super Bowls. But Russell Wilson had a really, really good career. And again, it just kind of gets glossed over because of the last few years.
Let me make this conversation interesting and push back. Russell Wilson's best wide receiver during his tenure was
DK. Or if you want to say for a period of time, Doug Baldwin.
Doug Baldwin. When, if at all, was Doug Baldwin drafted?
He wasn't.
Kurt Warner's best wide receivers during his time period was
Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt, Oz Hakeem.
Okay.
Marshall Faulk was a great receiver.
Isaac Bruce, too, yeah. Gold jacket. Torrey Holt should have a gold jacket.
Probably gonna have one. Yeah.
Marshall Faulk, some have suggested the most complete running back in the NFL history. Gold jacket. So if we being real,
Orlando Pace,
one of the best tackles in history. Gold jacket.
Yeah.
But
if you look at Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch will likely get a gold jacket maybe at some point in time. Doug Baldwin, undrafted free agent. Curse was a receiver there for a period in time. DK Metcalf, he's good, but he wasn't even as contributory as probably Tyler Lockett as a Seattle Seahawk, all things considered, duration of career there. So if you really think about what Russell Wilson did and who he did it with, you could make the case for Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson shows up to Seattle. Earl Thomas is there. Richard Sherman is there. Cam Chancellor is there. That team was 7-9 under, God rest his soul, Tavares Jackson. The next year, Russell Wilson shows up, and that same 7-9 team wins 11 games. The next year, they win a Super Bowl. So I don't think it's Russell Wilson's fault that team was defense heavy and the Rams team was offense heavy. Because imagine if you gave Russell Wilson a gold jacket wide receiver, a gold jacket running back, a gold jacket tackle, and another incredible wide receiver in Torrey Holt, probably a top 20 wide receiver all time. Are we having the same conversation?
Probably not. But Russ having that defense helped them a ton. Because when you're young and you know you don't have to do too much, you play to the strength of the team. We're going to run the ball, pass when we need to pass. And that's how Pete Carroll wanted to play football, and it was effective for Seattle. But Kurt Warner, Dick Vermeil, Mike Marsh, they changed the NFL a little bit with the passing game. They couldn't say revolutionized it, but it was different. Back then, everybody was winning games through running the ball, and they put out Oz Hakeem, Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, Marshall Faulk, and it was like, whoa, we hadn't really seen that much.
What about this, T? I would have said Kurt Warner was probably the 4th best player on his offense, on his own offense.
Nah.
Marshall Faulk better. Isaac Bruce better. Orlando Pace better. If you want to take Kurt over Torrey Holt, I'll give you that.
Now,
but them 3 is better.
The way we value quarterbacks now, we would say no. Back then, yes.
Okay.
Because the quarterback is overvalued, in my opinion, now.
Russell Wilson was always, at worst, the 2nd best player on his offense. Even when the defense carried him, the only person better was Marshawn Lynch.
When you look at that, it's because of they didn't put resources on offense.
Yeah.
Torrey Holt was a first-round pick. Obviously, they traded for Marshall Faulk. Oz Hakeem, I believe, is a third-round pick out of San Diego State. Isaac Bruce was a free agent, but he, at that point, when they signed him, he was one of the top receivers in the league.
Yeah.
Orlando Pace was a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
Seattle just didn't put the resources on offense. They went to the defensive side of the ball because of Pete Carroll, and they played that way. I mean, one of their best defensive players was Michael Bennett.
Yeah.
He was undrafted. Michael Bennett was undrafted, and he was one of their best defensive players. And so, again, when you sit back and think about it, because I'm guilty of this, oh, man, Russ got carried. Russ had to do his part.
He did.
Because there's a lot of guys that have been carried, and they didn't finish it like Russ finished it.
Yeah.
He at least finished it and got them to the promised land where you can call yourself a world champion. There's a lot of guys that had these type of defenses that never accomplished.
The other thing, though, that's hard for me is, in theory, Russ got carried, but, he's a 2nd-year Q. You got to carry somebody before they can walk.
But then when they said, Russ, we need you now to be the tractor and not the trailer. We ain't pulling you. We need you to pull us. He couldn't. That to me is why Kurt Warner will obviously be better than in everybody's mind, is because when they said the mantra, let Russ cook, the kitchen was burning.
Yeah.
And so then they had to go back to, okay, we need 2 or 3 sous chefs
Mm-hmm.
because he couldn't cook by himself.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest indictment that you can make.
Yeah, I'm not even here to trash Russell Wilson's career. He had an amazing career. He was unbelievable, held on to the ball and whatnot. But the 3 best years that they had in Seattle, they ranked number 3 in rushing yards per game. They ranked number 4 in rushing yards per game, and they ranked first in rushing yards per game. And that was Marshawn Lynch having nothing worse than a 1,200-yard season during a 4-year stretch during Russell Wilson's first 3 seasons in Seattle. Also, guys, it's not close because Kurt Warner, regardless of the talent around him, played the game at a higher level. Talking about a dude that was an All-Pro multiple times, a 2-time MVP, a dude that came back after injuries up and down all over the place. It looked like his career was just completely over. He was an old man. Also got in the league at 27, comes back and then takes the Arizona Cardinals to the Super Bowl as well. Yes, Larry Fitzgerald was unbelievable that year, but still, the common theme is, yes, he has talented players, but whenever you play the game at that high of a level, I can't punish you for that. He's going to be...
Don't punish him, but I just think it's unfair. You have to put it in context. Kurt Warner had 3 Hall of Fame talents at wide receiver. Maybe the top 5 receiver of all time, some would argue, in Larry Fitzgerald. And then Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt, Hall of Fame talent, not in the Hall yet. And maybe the best all-around running back ever. If not, you have a top 5 running back.
That matters, though. That does matter.
Like, so when you say Kurt played the game at a higher level, if Russ had all that, I hope Russ could get to 43 touchdowns with 22 picks.
I believe he would have.
I believe he would have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
He
saying?
had a 40-touchdown, 13-pick season.
With Doug Baldwin in them.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, I think it's close. I'm with T. It's Kurt Warner. But I'm also with T in that I think it's probably closer than our minds are allowing us our minds are allowing it to be.
Yes,
Russ was
It's
nice.
because of the end of his career in Seattle,
Yep.
and really what happened in Denver.
Yeah.
It was so bad. It was like, because when Kurt Warner left St. Louis, what did he do? He took another team to the Super Bowl. Russell left Seattle, and he got benched and ran out of town. That's why.
But here's what's crazy. Kurt left, and if I'm not mistaken, Kurt was sorry.
Yeah.
That one year with the Giants, they drafted Eli, and then when they sent him to Arizona,
they're supposed to be Liner's job. He beats out Liner, and then takes them back to the Super Bowl.
Beats out Liner. Yeah, so his career looked over at one point, and then he ended up taking the team all the way back to the Super Bowl with AP Comeback Player of the Year or whatnot. It just, like, I think with Kurt Warner, it's very much he's played. I'm sorry, I have to stick on that. Playing it, like, having 2 MVPs just matters. It does. It matters. Like, it has to matter. And for the quarterback as a win stat guy,
It has to matter.
It has to matter.
Yeah. No, I'm with that.